Happy Wednesday, everyone. Well, not if you're Whoopi Goldberg, a.k.a. Karen Johnson. Yeah, who knew Whoopi was a Karen? I thought that was only for white people, like Toyota Priuses and skiing. Roll it, Francis.
Good morning and welcome to The View. You all saw the news. Whoopi will be back here in 2 weeks. Okay?
It's so cute when one of their side gets punished. They sulk like they ran out of raw cookie dough in the green room. BBC suspended Whoopi for 2 weeks because she said the Holocaust had nothing to do with race. She said this on a show called The View, which makes everything about race. Except now.
The Holocaust isn't about race. No, it's not about race.
It is. It's about a different race.
But it's not about race. It's not about race.
What is it about?
Because it's about man's inhumanity to man.
Yeah, that's heroically stupid. Even for The View.
But if one live TV moment could shatter decades of supremacy, forcing a legend to fight for their reputation, imagine a daytime icon, seemingly invincible, ambushed by a quick-witted challenger armed with biting humor. The result? A meltdown so intense it set the internet ablaze. Here's the kicker. The real surprise wasn't the attack, it was her vulnerability. Years of polished control and carefully crafted authority collapsed in an instant, exposing flaws long hidden. Stay tuned, because this isn't just a showdown, it's a turning point that could reshape everything.
Yesterday on The View, otherwise known as Hell's DMV, Whoopi Goldberg asked how much different are the values of the Trump administration from the Taliban.
We have a leader who has repeatedly demeaned women, wants to defund organizations that benefit women, calling on the media to shut up, specifically wants to give preferential treatment based on religion.
Wow. Talk about groundbreaking to actually hear a celebrity say something mean about the Taliban. How dare they compare them to Trump? The Taliban should sue. Guess they ran out of Hitler analogies. So as they bash the president, I'm reminded how entertainers rarely express any rage over any strand of misogynist Islamism. If they did, we might take their rage toward Trump seriously. A reminder, the Taliban throw acid in girls' faces for going to school. Yeah, I guess that's like defunding Planned Parenthood. Radical Islam is all for killing gays, and I guess that's the same as making some rude jokes. No, Trump's past rudeness is a product of a rude culture, one fed and fattened by a coarse entertainment industry.
For years, Whoopi Goldberg has reigned over The View with unshakable authority. From her faux leather throne, she's dispensed bold opinions with a confidence that suggests she's an expert in all things. Since 2007, she's been the show's heartbeat, delivering unfiltered takes and silencing opposition with ease, transforming the panel into her personal stage, where her views often take center stage. But here's the twist. Even the mightiest have vulnerabilities, and lately, Whoopi's armor has shown cracks. Her once ironclad rule is faltering, with tense exchanges stacking up and subtle glances escalating into open clashes. Rumors of unrest have simmered, setting the stage for an unexpected rival to enter the fray.
Canada, apparently they're throwing tariffs on manatee meat and bovine semen, which means The View is very unhappy. Sausage maker Johnsonville is recalling more than 42,000 pounds of pork sausage for possible contamination with plastic fibers. Fortunately, authorities were able to track all 42,000 pounds to a single location in New York City. Brains are small, but who's the dumbest one of all? True, none of them are in Mensa, but who's the most densa? Perhaps it's Sonny who mastered the art of making idiots look smart. Now, The View could ask a mirror who's the dumbest one of all, but there's no way that glass doesn't shatter. So instead, let's check out this clip from Monday's episode of The View when the ladies put their science caps on and discuss the solar eclipse.
Meet Greg Gutfeld, Fox News razor-sharp satirist. If he's not on your radar, you might be dodging cable news or living off the grid. Gutfeld has shaken up late-night TV, outshining heavyweights like Stephen Colbert with a blend of biting humor and unapologetic conservative takes. His show, Gutfeld, isn't just a talk show. It's a surgical strike on hypocrisy, served with a grin that could cut glass. Why does this matter? Gutfeld doesn't just question the establishment, he mocks it mercilessly. While Whoopi leans on passion, Gutfeld wields logic, brandishing satire like a torch in a house of cards. When their worlds collided, the clash was explosive, but what unfolded next left one of them scrambling.
Down the hallway.
The rapture is here.
The rapture's here. And then also I learned that the cicadas are coming.
Cicadas.
Cicadas.
Although I love
for the first time in like
No,
100 years,
no.
for the first time in many, many years.
No, every 17 years this happens.
Well, that's not what I read, but maybe, you know, maybe you know better. All those things together would maybe lead one to believe that, you know, either climate change exists or something is really going on.
returning.
Earthquakes are not at the mercy of climate change. It's underground. It can't. I don't think that
it happens, and the eclipse. They've known about the eclipse coming because eclipses happen, and they actually can say when these things are going to happen.
Amazing. Wow. That's not what I read. The true sign of the apocalypse is someone that dumb has a law degree. Worse, if your name has the word sun in it, there's no excuse for not knowing how an eclipse works. But it's no surprise that Joy is the one who understands science. She's been on the science diet for years.
It wasn't a direct confrontation, but it felt like one. Gutfeld, with his trademark smirk, targeted Whoopi's latest The View tirade. The subject? Irrelevant. It could have been politics or pop culture, as Whoopi's outbursts follow a familiar pattern. One moment, she's preaching with self-assured righteousness. The next, she's unraveling like a frayed scarf in a windstorm. Here's the kicker. Gutfeld didn't just poke fun. He went for blood. With razor-sharp wit, he dismantled her arguments, exposing their flaws like a chef slicing through soft butter. This is someone who thinks volume equals victory, he jabbed, as clips of Whoopi's meltdown rolled behind him. His audience erupted, but at The View, the vibe was ice cold. What followed wasn't just a takedown, it was a brutal reflection of a show running on empty.
Hostin's obsession with race gets thrown back in her face. Today's video comes to us from sunny Hostin. Sounds like a town. We're in sunny Hostin. She was on PBS's Finding Your Roots, a show dedicated to researching celebrity ancestry. For context, Sunny is a staunch supporter of reparations and has made a fortune spewing nonsense about white privilege and racial justice. Well, turns out she's not as oppressed as she claims she is. She's actually the descendant of slave owners from Whoopi claims Biden's loose bowels should make voters throw in the towels. Goldberg's rational so weak she doesn't care if Biden can't speak. Yes, it's a magical land where little Debbies make big bellies and brain cells go to die. This week on The View, Whoopi doubled down on her support of Joe Biden's re-election. No surprise. But it was her peculiar poo-powered prose that piqued my potty predilection. Roll it.
I don't care if he's pooped his pants. I don't care if he can't put a sentence.
Zoom in on The View, because this clash wasn't just about Whoopi. It exposed the show's core. Once pitched as a hub for lively debate, it's become something else. A bubble of groupthink where dissent is as welcome as a wasp at a picnic. Whoopi, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, and the ever-changing co-host deliver a daily symphony of agreement, their takes so predictable you could time your coffee break to them. It gets uglier. Gutfeld's roast didn't just target Whoopi, it laid bare The View's fatal flaw, its rejection of diverse thought. It's like a book club where nobody cracked the spine, Gutfeld quipped, and the internet ate it up. Memes flooded feeds, comment sections erupted. Viewers, many long disengaged, found their voice. But it was Whoopi's response that turned the moment into a full-blown spectacle.
She doesn't care if he his pants, and in fact, she'll stand right behind him. Not only does she have a terrible case of Trump derangement, she also has no sense of smell or a really weird fetish. And I'm not one to kink shame, to each his own. I guess you just got tired of Joy's crap. Kat, you know what was the most interesting thing about this was the audience reaction. Like when she started talking about poop being everywhere, the audience was like frozen. They were like, I don't, what is going on here? Whoopi has a poop problem.
What does she mean she has poopy days?
She has poopy days. I don't know.
Imagine Whoopi mid-rant, blindsided by Gutfeld's jabs. Her face stiffens, eyes sharpening into a glare that screams, "How dare you?" A heavy sigh follows, loaded with unspoken fury. Then, a chaotic symphony of flailing arms, theatrical sighs, and disjointed comebacks that feel more like abstract performance than coherent argument. Her co-host, ever-loyal sidekicks scramble to her defense, tossing out vague affirmations and verbal filler. Joy Behar looks like she's grappling with a cosmic revelation, while Sunny Hostin pivots to a lecture on some systemic issue, grasping at straws. But here's the wild part. The damage is irreversible, and the internet ignites. Memes flood feeds, clips rack up millions of views, and online pundits crown it a defining moment. What happened next? Even a veteran producer would have reached for the emergency eject button.
These studies are married white women, and they do fall in line with what their husbands are doing.
People have to wonder, where does Sunny Hostin get her opinions?
Yeah.
Like you said, it's obviously from her husband. She has to tell her what to say on The View, because without it, she's got nothing up there. She's not very bright. But the problem with her is that she went full racist.
The internet's reaction was a wildfire. Within hours, Whoopi's meltdown flooded YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter. Memes sprouted like dandelions, with slow magnetic clips of her sighs paired with dramatic violin tracks, and Gutfeld's zingers remixed into viral bites. "How dare you, peasant" became a meme sensation, slapped across reaction videos and snarky TikToks. The online world turned it into a merciless feast, picking apart every gesture, sigh, and shaky historical reference. But there's more. This wasn't a one-time flop. Whoopi's outburst had become a genre, part circus, part warning, each louder and messier than the last. While the memes stung, they pointed to a deeper, darker question, gaining traction with every viral clip. Has Whoopi lost her grip on the audience? And if she has, what's next for The View?
Sunny Hostin, who thinks climate change caused the solar eclipse, the dumbest of them all. Because everyone knows the moon caused the eclipse, which is controlled by The View's gravitational pull. All right, Kat, did you ever see such a group? It's amazing how Joy and Whoopi became the smart ones.
For me, the most shocking thing about the conversation was how truly boring it was.
Let's step back. This wasn't just a TV skirmish. It was a glimpse into a larger shift. Whoopi's no stranger to scandal, and recent years have been turbulent. In 2022, her claim that the Holocaust wasn't about race sparked a firestorm, leading to a suspension from The View and widespread calls for her ouster. Social media buzz with speculation. Was her reign over? Would ABC cut ties with their controversial star? Here's the twist. As Whoopi's hold on daytime TV wobbles, Gutfeld's influence soars. His ratings climb, his audience expands, and his biting, unapologetic humor connects with viewers fed up with preachy pundits. Some see it as a cultural pivot, away from sanctimonious daytime talk towards something sharper, funnier, and unafraid to provoke. Tougher questions loom. Can The View thrive when echo chambers are losing appeal? Is its formula a commanding host, a chorus of agreement, and relentless outrage running out of steam? One thing's certain, this wasn't just a roast, it was a cultural turning point. The ripples are just starting to spread. The clash between Whoopi Goldberg and Greg Gutfeld wasn't just a TV spat. It was a cultural earthquake, exposing fault lines in how we consume ideas. Whoopi's meltdown on The View revealed a show leaning on outrage over substance, its echo chamber cracking under scrutiny. Gutfeld's surgical roast wasn't just funny, it was a manifesto, wielding humor to dismantle sanctimony in an age of performative politics. The deeper question, what voices should shape our discourse? Are viewers rejecting curated groupthink for raw, disruptive perspectives, or is this just the pendulum swinging between extremes? Whoopi's throne is wobbling. Her rhetoric, once commanding, now feels brittle after repeated controversies, like her 2022 suspension. Yet her resilience suggests this could be another act in her dramatic saga, not the finale. Gutfeld, meanwhile, rides a wave of rising ratings and a growing appetite for his unfiltered style, hinting at a shift toward contrarian voices. Has the queen fallen? Not yet. Whoopi's still a force, but her grip is slipping. If The View doesn't evolve, it risks fading into irrelevance. Gutfeld's approach, sharp, fearless, and funny, may not be the future, but it's a strong contender in a landscape craving authenticity. The next chapter? It'll be a wild ride with viewers deciding who holds the crown. Can Whoopi reinvent herself, or is Gutfeld's style the new blueprint?